You know I couldn't let this go unnoticed. We've been hyping this guy up for years, so it only seems appropriate to talk about when things are going extraordinarily well for one Devon Levi. Because yesterday, the Buffalo Sabres sent Levi down to the AHL in a move that you could say may not be the best in terms of Buffalo Sabres results. Like, if your goal is to see the Sabres win as many hockey games as they can to end off the year, maybe sending Levi down to the Americans isn't the best thing to do. But, as indicated by a lot of the replies, this is a pretty alright thing. The Amerks got a cup to win. This isn't goodbye, Beast. It's see you later, Beast. Awesome. He made his NHL money for a few weeks, and now he's going to the playoffs. Calder Cup incoming, yada yada yada. Somebody asks why, and then, hey, he's a 22-year-old goalie who needs to develop, and the season is ending. We want him to play in the Rochester system. This is going to be great. And when it comes to the entire update on Levi, the article goes out there and writes all that we need to know. The goaltender is 11-5-3 and has a .927 save percentage in 19 games with Rochester this season. Levi had posted this record in 19 games with Rochester before being recalled by the Sabres on March 16th. The 22-year-old appeared in 3 games for the Sabres in the month of March, recording a .947 save percentage and a .178 goals against average in that span. Levi will now return to Rochester to help the Amerks in their playoff push. Rochester is 7-2-0-1 in its last 10 games and currently sits in 3rd place in the North Division standings with 8 games remaining. The top 5 finishers in the North will advance to the Calder Cup Playoffs. Now, when it comes to Devon Levi and his holistic profile, this is where things look great, because Levi, in the Buffalo system, had an .899 save percentage and a .310 goals against average in 23 games. Not really the best set of numbers. Like, this kind of encapsulates everything that we had seen out of Levi at the beginning of the season, and there was an extended period where he wasn't looking all too fantastic. He got sent down, had a .928 save percentage in the Rochester system, got called back up, and when it comes to his NHL stint, this is what we're looking at with Devon Levi in the last 3 games that he has had of NHL play. Against the Vancouver Canucks in a 3-2 loss, Levi had a .939 save percentage, 31 saves on 32 shots against. Against the Ottawa Senators, he had a .969 save percentage, 32 shots against and 31 saves with only 1 goal against. And then on Friday, the 29th, the Buffalo Sabres beat the New Jersey Devils. Levi had 28 saves on 30 shots against, a .933 save percentage. So, if you look at his entire body of work, I mean, a lot of the games with Buffalo in the January and November period of the NHL really weren't great. There were a few 700, 800 save percentage games tossed in there, so Devon Levi definitely had his ups and downs, but in his most recent 5 games, the guy has a .946 save percentage and only 9 goals against in total. This is a guy who, after developing a little bit in Rochester, took a lot of this momentum into the NHL and said, hey, I can tango at this level. I can be good enough to justifiably still be an option for this team. But of course, with the Buffalo Sabres and their own situation, you could say that sending Levi down to Rochester, helping them out in their playoff run, would be a lot more beneficial to Levi and what he's been doing. There are some games here that really stand out to me as absolutely bananas crazy good. Like, for example, this one. March 13th against the Syracuse Crunch, Devon Levi stops 35 shots against on 37 shots total, so a .946 save percentage, that's pretty good. Against the Toronto Marlies, a 2-1 overtime win on February 19th, Levi had 52 saves on 53 shots for a .981 save percentage. February 3rd against the Laval Rocket, his second game in the Rochester system during this sending down period. 33 shots against, 32 saves, and .970 save percentage. There are so many of these games where Levi is just dominant, and in the NHL, it was so impressive that if you go over to the best and worst team of the week in the NHL from March 26th to April 1st, you'll see a very interesting pattern with the way the list is developed. This, of course, was from the most recent week's worth of play, and if you take a look at the best team of the week, you'll see that a lot of these guys that are here are pretty good. Mikko Rantanen, Austin Matthews, Draisaitl, they had a really good game score for the past week's worth of play. But for Devon Levi, he technically was the second best goaltender in the NHL for that week. His game score was a .434, which is actually tied with Logan Thompson of the Vegas Golden Knights, who also had a monster week. Now, the best part about this is, Devon Levi was so good that he is in this conversation, but if you go from the best team of the week to the worst team of the week, you'll see a bunch of Buffalo Sabres right there. Jack Quinn, Jeff Skinner, Peyton Krebs, and Dylan Cousins all had bad weeks from March 26th to April 1st, and on defense, Bowen Byram also had a bad week. Now, I know for a lot of Sabres fans, they'll say that Bo had that crazy good start and he was looking really good, and that's true. It's just, as some of the commenters point out, it is kind of funny that you have some of the worst players of the week all on Buffalo. You've got 5, but their goaltending is good enough that Devon Levi is the best, or tied with the best goaltender for that same week's worth of play. Let's go back over onto the post itself. Devon Levi being on the good team while half of our team is on the bad team makes it even more impressive. There also is another conversation. Yeah, Byram has been on for like every goal since his hot start. Sliding down the lineup, losing ice time, losing power play time. It's not ideal. Hilarious how we got like half the bad team but still tied the top goalie. It's crazy that the first few games before he got morphed in the Granato system is when he looked his best. Donnie even has him doing the high flip out of the D-zone now. It's very frustrating being a Buffalo Sabres fan. There are a few extra things talking about Bowen. Oh, I'm confident he'll sort himself out. You can't overreact to either the good or the bad. He'll sort himself out once we get a new coach. And then there's a Colorado Avalanche fan saying, yeah, we told y'all his biggest problem has been his wild inconsistency. But either way, all Bowen Byram talk aside, when it comes to consistency and when it comes to skill, Devon Levi is really putting himself up there. And this small stint that he had in the NHL, it's pretty valuable because it gives Sabres fans hope in saying, yeah, this guy could realistically be an NHL option next season, but because Buffalo is in the position they're at, because they've got themselves a few goaltenders already still there rotating around, I mean, their current goaltending pool, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Eric Comrie, UPL's probably going to get a few more starts to end off the year. He actually has been pretty good himself too. A .910 save percentage is definitely above average. This Buffalo Sabres team may not necessarily need the services of Devon Levi at this very moment, especially if you're not really trying to force a playoff push. Like, get this guy in the AHL, give him some meaningful minutes with that team, and allow him to capitalize on what was one of the best goaltending weeks in the NHL in total. Like, he was the best guy here, tied with Logan Thompson. So, all the more impressive when you acknowledge how bad the Sabres played in front of him. But at the end of the day, this is more indicative of the skill of Devon Levi and just what he's been able to accomplish ever since his first pro year. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the way Devon Levi has played this season. What are your hopes for him heading into the Rochester Americans playoffs? And what are your expectations for him for next season? Does he become a 20 or 30 game guy with the Buffalo Sabres? Who does he split the load with? What does the management look like? And when it comes to the rest of the team, do you think you're going to be good enough to give Levi the supporting cast around him to make sure that his good goaltending doesn't go to waste? Are you aiming for a playoff spot once Devon Levi enters his full second year of pro hockey? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Levi and the crazy career he has had. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.